7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, people? Welcome one, welcome all. Don't watch the shade. It's the Prem panel show. We are back in the building. Big up to everyone who's already in the chat. Smash that like button for us, and big up everyone who's actually been here as well. I know the football's on, still a little bit to go, so I appreciate everyone jumping in while we're clashing with the game. Man United are currently 1-0 down, but I'm sure they'll pull it back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll pull it back.
Sorry, Soups.
But big up everyone. Do you know what? I don't necessarily know how I feel about it from a personal level, but as a man of God, I do know that all life is important. So, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Condolences to the royal family and RIP to the Queen. Obviously, we got that news today. It's been reverberating around for a few hours now. So, you know what I mean? Anytime anybody passes away, it is a sad time. So RIP to Queen Elizabeth.
And it is in however people see it, is iconic in our era. Like
yeah. I'm pretty sure every single person in the chat only knows the Queen as their ruler. So yeah, you're right.
And we all had grandparents in it. So
we did. But onto the football, people. We are here. You'll be happy to know we're going to be starting positively with Chelsea today, Lewis. Big up.
Why us? We're on a Liverpool stream.
No, hold on. Look, this is what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to let everybody know. The viewers will know, everybody knows. We created the panel show to show love and spread light on everyone else. We talk about Liverpool all the time. Last season, everything was rosy in the Liverpool world. So everybody was fine with us not really talking about Liverpool and skipping over it. But it will be a big part of the show today, all right, people? You lot want to talk about it. We deserve the smoke. We are dead at the moment. We'll get there. But I think Lewis deserves some positivity. So I want to start with the Chelsea stuff. I mean, I say positivity.
What positivity?
I was going to say, you're actually a Tuchel. You're a Tuchel.
Doesn't cancel itself out. Come on,
you're a Tuchel guy. So I'm going to open it up to you, bro, before I bring everyone else in. Actually, Lee, Daps, everyone all right? Yeah, everyone cool. I forgot to say, everyone cool? Everyone all right? How you lot doing, yeah?
I'm good.
Looking sharp, Daps. I'm not going to lie. Looking real sharp there, bro.
Didn't even want to say hi to everyone else. Wanted to smoke me straight off the bat.
It's not even smoke. Bro. It's not even smoke. You've got like...
I'll be honest with you. This is positive.
My football club.
We'll get to my opinion on it. I think this is bloody positive for Chelsea personally. But let me just ask the first question real quick. Lewis, was Tuchel sacking harsh?
It was 7. Yeah, it was 7 games into the season. I don't understand it. I still don't get it. There was no hints of a fallout. Everything feels really sudden, even though how quickly we got in Graham Potter makes it feel like everything was put in place for weeks. But you don't spend 300 million on someone just to sack them after 7 games. It doesn't make sense.
But did they spend 700 million on him? This is the thing. Like, because
he's in charge of the transfers, Daps. Apparently, he was the one who was in charge of the transfers.
Who told you that? Chelsea fans.
Let's look at it.
Told you Lukaku was the saviour, and we always believe them, and we need to realise stop believing these Chelsea fans.
Okay, but then let's look at facts. Like, Bowley wanted Ronaldo. Tuchel did not want Ronaldo. Bowley never went over Tuchel's head and got Ronaldo, even though he could if he wanted to. He stuck with what Tuchel wanted, and he brought in Aubameyang.
I agree on that one.
The old regime wanted Koundé as the number 1 choice. We turned back from Koundé because Tuchel wasn't interested in him. He wanted De Ligt, Fofana, or Koulibaly, 2 out of the 3 there. Anthony Gordon was a board pick. Tuchel wasn't interested. We didn't progress. So we did go for Tuchel's options.
Yeah.
So, it's just a fact speak for itself. So, why do you back someone
Lewis, just
and
quickly,
then sack them after 7 games?
But Lewis, just quickly, this is a genuine question. This isn't me trolling. how do we know that they are the ones that Tuchel wanted? Did Tuchel come out and say, these are the players I wanted, these are the players Bowley wanted, or is this just, again, Chelsea propaganda?
Well, no, because at the start of the window, we were heavily pursuing Koundé, and as soon as the takeover was complete and Marina and Petr Cech got sacked, we stopped. Completely stopped.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, again, Bowley would have went for him immediately, but he didn't because Tuchel didn't want him. It was reported Tuchel rejected a move for Ronaldo about 6 times. He just didn't want him in the squad. He said apparently he thought he would be bad for the dressing room, which I kind of understand, even though I still wanted him. So we went with what Tuchel wanted. So again, why do you sack him after 7 games? I get the football was horrible. We were playing like shit. I won't even try and sugarcoat any of that. But to me, if you're in the middle of a squad overhaul, you're going to have those phases. It's about backing the manager through those phases. And I thought we were done with the hire and fire thing, but this is the harshest sacking I've seen since Ancelotti. I think it's that far back for me.
Well, here's the thing, Lewis, because this is the thing that I'm a bit confused about. And you're right, like there are reputable sources that say Bowley actually put Tuchel in charge and let him have the final say on things. It was one of the first things he did. So you're right, Tuchel was the one that, even if people recommended other players, if Tuchel didn't want the player, Tuchel was the one who got to say no. And apparently Tuchel was having problems delegating the duties of being, having that much power as well. Like he was kind of like not doing it well, but
he had too much roles to do because there was no director of football, there was no scouting system. Him and Bowley were doing everything. And the only thing I'll say is like, I get he's not suited to that, but like if it's what we need to do based off a really ridiculous situation that no one expects to be in, for one season it's not that deep, but shouldn't have got to this point. Not this early. Not this early at all. But
now a lot of people will have respect for what Wenger did, because I'm not gonna lie, for 20 years that was Wenger. He actually did everything. Like nobody else was involved. He literally did run the entire club. But just quickly though, the one thing I'm worried about, not worry's the wrong word. Like I don't actually care about Chelsea, but the one thing that I feel a bit strange is, bro, all of the Chelsea fans, including yourself, and this isn't shade, kept on defending Tuchel every time things weren't going well because the majority of the players were from previous regimes. Have you lot not just gone and done the exact same mistake of spending all that money, bringing in all these players, and now you've got the excuse again for Potter for another 12 to 18 months of going, well, these aren't Potter's players, and these players are from the previous regime.
But here's the thing, no Chelsea fan... Well, let's not say no Chelsea fan. Most Chelsea fans didn't ask to be put in this situation either. And I get you're saying, like, there's been a lot of defense for Tuchel. I've been saying, like, everything that's wrong with the midfield is Tuchel's fault. Because he ignored the midfield situation until 2 days before deadline day. And I said I was holding him responsible for that throughout the season. The attack, like... My problem with him is that he has favourites in Havertz and Mount, and I've called him out for that as well. They constantly seem to start, despite being absolute dog shit in 9 out of the 10 games that they play. That's on Tuchel as well. And so I don't believe, like, I'm not saying he's innocent in all of this and all the problems that we have aren't because of Tuchel. I'm saying I was willing to ride out with him through it, at least through the season. But 7 games in... The guy gets sacked after spending 300 million. I don't get it.
Lewis, I can understand. Before you go, bro. Yeah, this super right here is from a Chelsea fan who's saying, Lewis, our form has been trash for pretty much half a year.
I agree.
Not just 7 games.
I agree. I'm not arguing against stuff like this. But last season, we didn't get a single player that Tuchel asked for. This is the first season that we brought players in, and we've sacked him 7 games after that.
I think, Lewis, I can kind of get what they're saying, but I can also get why you would back him, right? Right. Firstly, I like Tuchel, yeah? Like as a human being, he comes across as a nice person, right? Now, he's been through a divorce. I know this face is he's just waiting. Lee, we can talk about you and United later. But then as a Chelsea fan, we have to be, well, as rivals, we have to be real and understand what Chelsea have been through in the last 4 or 5 months is something that like none of our clubs have been through. It is different, and you could say to a certain extent that gets him a pass. And during that period, he defended Chelsea well. He was outspoken about a racist that was going to buy them. Salute to him for doing that. And I can understand why, as a fan base, you might want to say he should have been given more time. But if you really think about it, I get why he's been sacked, because like the last comment said, your form's been bad. Your system, I don't know what your system is, right? And I'll even go back to when we played you in January, when you were still in the title race, and Tuchel brought your team to the Etihad, still in the title race, and played for it. Yeah, but no, you're about 7 or 8 points behind us, yeah? But
no,
either way,
it was a game where if we even drew,
you can't be playing for a draw. You can't be playing for a draw in them type of situations. And
I don't think we played for a draw.
Oh, bro. You might have been playing for the L then, maybe, but you weren't playing for a win.
You were better than us on the day, and Tuchel picked the wrong lineup on the day. Like I was saying, how would you go to the Etihad with a Pulisic, Ziyech, Lukaku front three, and you leave Havertz and Werner, the only 2 players that can deal with a high line, on the bench? That was on Tuchel. So I hold Tuchel accountable for his mistakes as well. But I was still willing to ride out with him through it.
Yeah, and I can understand why you would, but I also can understand that I don't actually think it's like, oh my God, why has he been sacked? And we have to be real. Owners of football clubs,
really, 7 games in, and you're saying you're not surprised?
Not with Chelsea, no, definitely not.
But all right, so this is my next question.
It would have been different, and they were talking about how Tuchel was going to be the long-term manager throughout all of this, and then we see him get sacked in 7 games. Doesn't make sense.
So I'll ask you on this, Lee, to bring you in, because you've been patiently smiling and waiting. Is this Bowley stamping his authority, thinking you're the last piece of like old regime? Like, I want this to be all about me. Is that what he's done here, bro?
Look, you know, it's funny what I'm gonna say, because no one's gonna actually probably expect what I'm gonna say, but I actually feel a bit sorry for Tuchel. I really do, and I tell you the reason why. Because, and I think that's kind of said it. I don't think that any of the players that were bought were for him, other than Aubameyang. I genuinely believe that behind the scenes that they didn't want Tuchel and they wanted him to flop, and it's just unfortunate that he took him so long to get to the Zagreb game for them to say, do you know what, it's enough's enough now, and we're just gonna we're gonna go to our own move, and we're gonna kind of go in our own direction. For me, I do look at the stuff that's coming out, the leaks about the players fell out of him because he has a young girlfriend and all these other weird things. There was this rumor about him not being respected by the players and all these other things. And look, like, we can laugh and joke, yeah, but when you're going through a divorce, which people was mentioning, and you're the only man out of a backroom staff and a squad of 25 players that don't respect him, it's mad. It's mad to say and to think. So for me, I know Tuchel's not good enough, so I'm not gonna come and dump on Lewis, because I actually think, and I'm sure Drift, you're gonna kind of allude to it as well, I think they're in a much better. I'm actually worried about Chelsea, genuinely worried about Chelsea, and I'm looking at it now where Tuchel is not good enough. I've been screaming this for months. I had an argument with Robbie from AFTV, and he called him elite. This guy is not elite. Just because you won the Champions League does not make you elite. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But look, I'm not going to digress into the man, because you not know I don't rate this guy. But where I am at the point at is with Chelsea, I want to see a change. They wanted to, and you know what happens in all forms of life. You start a new place, you take over something, you want to get your people in to say that, you know what, you're going to make people fall on their own sword. They didn't want Tuchel. Clearly, they didn't want Tuchel. Because there's been issues with. I saw a video where he said he has to kind of teach these people because they don't know nothing about football. So clearly there was stuff going on behind the scenes. And again, I feel very, very sorry for Tuchel. I don't feel like it's actually bad what they've done, because I don't rate Tuchel, and I don't really feel like it's bad for what the owners have done, because at the end of the day, my man's record was horrible. And if you literally look at the stats, because I don't like stats, you might know this. If you look at the stats,
I think his record was horrible.
No, his Premier League. His Premier League record was horrible. I spoke about it last week. In in the last 15 games, he had a record worse than Lampard.
What about his overall record?
His home record in the last 30 years is, I think, he's been the worst for a Chelsea manager. For me,
can't be compared to Frank Lampard. No chance.
No. Okay, fine. But for me, someone said it, and this is true. And I just want to kind of give him the credit because I don't even want to seem like I'm taking it. I think it was Connoisseur 101. Tuchel always plays, I think he said something along the lines of for a draw. I don't ever see him taking the impetus. I don't ever see him being proactive. I don't ever see him say, do you know what? And I keep asking you, Lewis. I keep asking.
He is. It's just this team is shit.
Okay, but Lewis, I keep asking. Lewis, okay, look, again, I'm not. You're a Chelsea man.
How have I not come out and criticized?
You have.
Have I not said this attack couldn't hit a fucking barn door? They couldn't hit water in a fucking boat. All I said about this midfield with zero creativity.
They couldn't hit water from a boat, did you say? Oh my days, that's elite.
But no. But do you know what it is? My two things, and I'm going to leave it there. Is my first thing is why I don't like this the Havertz slander from Chelsea fans is because I look at it and I'm like, when he was scoring the goals in the Champions League final, when Werner was doing all these things, he scored
2 Champions League goals.
Hold on, let me just land
in his lifetime. Not even
let me land. Werner, you've been cussing for a minute, but when you speak about Havertz, you were bigging this guy up, and you were saying he's the next prophecy, and he's going to be this amazing.
Where?
Not you, but your Chelsea fans, and you have to take the
I do not speak on behalf of Chelsea fans, my friend.
Lewis, but unfortunately, when we're on a show like this, you have to take the fact the same way how Jiffy's going to take the
speak on myself.
You're right.
I've said this guy has never shown me generation.
You're right, but Liverpool fans are going to take. I say, Drifty's going to take all the flack for those soft Liverpool fans that are in the comments at this moment in time. Because I'm going to come for you lot as well, and I'm going to cook all of you mofos. Don't you worry.
Guys, is it only me getting a little bit of feedback, guys? Is it only me that can hear that? I'm just getting a slight bit of feedback.
Is it me? No.
I'll let you know if I can hear it again. It's just like a bit of an echo. Yeah.
Look, for me, as I said, like I just feel Tuchel was thrown under the bus a little bit. And I feel, for me, the way I look at it is I don't like how Tuchel didn't get no accountability. I don't know what his style is. Up to now, I cannot explain to you how he plays, what he sets out, what is his formation.
Maybe we would see Tuchel's final form if we had some creativity in the middle, but we have absolutely none.
Lewis, we spoke about this a few weeks ago, and I keep trying to explain to you, no team is perfect, Lewis. Okay, Lewis, let me just explain to you again.
Right, and I explain our weaknesses, which is no creativity in the middle and no end product.
Wait, Lewis, right? In walks of life, you've worked in retail before. You might have worked in somewhere before where it's not perfect, right? I don't know. I can't speak for you, but you make best of what you have with whatever.
I hear that, and there's some people who work in retail, right, and they put 100% on the line and they try their hardest. There's some people who are just lazy as shit and they just go through their shift daily. So those are our forwards.
So you talk about everything else. So where is the fault with the manager?
I'll just be honest. The one reason why I've had sympathy
field options and he has too much favourites in attack, and I've said that.
But Lewis, I have had sympathy for Chelsea in the last 5 months, right? I have, because I'll keep saying it because of what you've been through as fans, and because of what Tuchel's been through as well, and all of it, yeah. But the one thing I'll keep coming back with, and I won't say the excuses that you're coming up with, I'll say their reasons, right? And I'll accept that they're reasons, and I'm cool with them being reasons. The one thing that I struggle with is when these reasons seem to be very similar to reasons why you were going to win the league last, like Tuchel was the chosen one, and Lukaku was the missing piece, and Jorginho was
I said we
amazing, and even Loftus-Cheek was at last back, and everything was perfect. And then 2 months later, you get a bit of COVID, and you're playing plays that you thought were perfect, and your fan base is saying,
"Bro, I agree." Though I've said this to you, we've had this discussion numerous times. I've said we overhyped our depth. I agree. I've given you that. That was our L from last season. We said we had enough depth to win the league. We were wrong. We needed an overhaul as well.
Lewis, all I want
you to be a positive for Chelsea, though, right? Hold on.
Yeah, no,
maybe in the long term, it's like we shouldn't.
All right, finish up, Leah, because I want to
Yes,
finish
yeah.
it off my question.
All I
want
want
to
to see, leave it here, is Lewis. When I'm telling you, look now, I'm gonna tell you on camera. I'm gonna try and rob a bank, and Lewis, I need you to defend me the way you defend Tuchel. I need you to defend me the way you defend Tuchel. And the reason why I'm doing it on camera is because no matter what, you're gonna find a way to get me out of it. I know you are.
Lee, I hear you, but I don't defend Arsenal fans, respectfully.
Listen, this is good. I just want you.
All right, so let's move on to the positivity, which I don't even know if Lewis. Yeah. I'm going to ask this to Daps because I don't know if Lewis even finds this positive, but obviously we'll get Lewis's spin afterwards. Daps, is Potter a good appointment for Chelsea?
Right, for me, yeah. We've been saying we don't get what Tuchel's system is, right? We don't get what he's. We know what Potter's system is straight away, right? So. We know that he plays good, attractive football. Now, this is a test for me because I always say that no matter, since Chelsea have been successful, in fact, if you class the Zola era as successful, then they were actually entertaining to watch then. But this more recent era, it don't matter who the manager is. It's effective football, but it's boring, right? It's always like, it doesn't matter what manager comes in, they'll win trophies, but it's boring. It's always boring. And I'm like, I'm confused. It don't matter what manager, what personnel's there. Somehow this football reverts back to being effective, boring football. Now, with Potter, you're thinking, right, could this be the guy? And I look at the squad. On paper, would you all agree with me that on paper, Chelsea have on paper, let's be clear, Chelsea have the best defence in the league?
On paper, probably.
Balance-wise, think about it. They've got Reece James and Azpilicueta on the right, Then they've got Chilwell or Cucurella on the left. Cucurella can also play centrally, and so can Azpilicueta.
That was definitely planning for Potter, innit, when they got him.
Yeah. then they've got the experience of and leadership of Thiago Silva. Then they've got the youth
and Koulibaly.
Youth of Fofana, and then they've got the experience and power of Koulibaly. And then there's probably a few other youngers that Chelsea fans will tell me is really
Levi
good.
Colwill as well.
But them not alone, on paper, and I am being clear and saying on paper, that's a very, very good defence. Now, also, Potter can play three at the back. He plays three at the back. Also, he's got to bring his head of recruitment, I believe, right? Their recruitment's been very good. He's been given 5 years. He's been allowed to bring all his coaches. It does, and then you can look at like the Cucurella signing. Was that actually for Potter? Did they always think? Because let's be honest, to get a manager in a position this quickly is very quick. Like
they've been tapping him up, Daps. They've been tapping him up 100%.
Too quick, man. Things don't
wait. You can't even order McDonald's this quick. Like they've definitely been tapping him up.
Damn. It is quick, man. I think like one or two people on the stream earlier were telling me, you're hyping him. And I said, you know what? Maybe I am, but most of us say that we have wanted to see these young, talented managers be given a chance.
He's not even young, by the way. He's like 50 years old. He's
until they're challenging City, I don't mind hyping him and hoping that he does well. The minute they start doing well with him, I'll be like, I don't want him to do well no more. But I think it's something to, he could change their style of football. They want change. He's going to bring change, isn't it? And if he doesn't, then we just know that Chelsea just like playing boring, effective football. So,
you know what? Going off what you're saying, I think the reason why I'm worried and I think that he's going to do really well is because he's so good at the back, and they've got they've got the system. I think they are a little bit weak in the centre mid, and I have to agree with Lewis with that. But I just think they're going to have and you know what? It's funny because Lewis keeps going. Tuchel's good at coaching defenses, but the defense looks horrible. I don't know. For me, but
that's because we've added 2 new defenders into a back three, and they need to develop an understanding of each other.
Lewis, honestly, that is like excuse number 664, bro. Come on,
that's cool. Our defense will be calm in 3 months. I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Lewis,
you're meant to be in the middle of a rebuild. I expected us to have a downward phase. I just didn't expect our manager to be sacked within the first bad run of form. But whatever,
Talk to me,
we're
Lewis.
here now.
The next 5 minutes is about you and your opinion on Potter, bro. Talk to me, bro. Like, how you feeling?
I
It's your
think
new
Potter's
manager.
he's the number one replacement I would have had if Tuchel left. So like, I'm happy with that. It's just I'm still gonna demand the same results. Like top 4 has to be achieved as a bare minimum. I want us to win a domestic trophy, and we're capable of it. I don't want anyone lowering their expectations and think, "Oh, new manager, we're allowed to have an iffy season and drop out the top 4." No. How the fuck are we attracting anyone if we drop out the top 4 and we have a manager that has no experience at Champions League? Not hearing none of that. At least we bring in a scouting system and we could potentially unearth some gems because we never really do that. We always just buy names. But number 1, top 4 has to be achieved. Maybe he'll teach some attacking patterns of play. Maybe we'll see better from our attackers as a result. But they can have no excuse now. These players didn't work under Tuchel. If they don't work under what's his name, they can just fuck off for all I care. But we'll see.
So, all right. So, because we will move on, because we're going to move on to the Liverpool segment. Will all Chelsea fans, including yourself, be willing to accept, though, that if Potter starts to actually get a tune out of them, it's because people like myself and Lee, who kept saying, Tuchel's not this great guy that you lot keep going on about. Will you lot be willing to accept that it was Tuchel's
I don't know,
fault?
because you hear about the new manager bounce and everything. I expect a positive impact of a new manager as well. It's about how we play long term, because there'll be ups and then we could overhype that, and then we'll have downs and everyone will criticize Potter and say he's overhyped and everything like that. You just got to judge everything as it comes. Hopefully we play better as a result. Also, we fucking better, because it's going to be so toxic if we continue to lose games under Graham Potter. The players are going to get a lot of shit. Potter's probably going to get a lot of shit. You'll be mad, but it's the owners who put us in this situation. Tuchel should not have been sacked at this point. I'll die on that hill. There's no reason why he should have been sacked 7 games into a season after having 300 million spent on options for him. Makes no sense. He should have lasted the season as a bare minimum. But we better reach our targets, because now we are in the middle of an overhaul. Now, like, you're going to say it's an excuse. Potter needs his players too. That's a fact.
Fuck off. I'm
no,
done.
I don't care. We're in that situation now. No, it's the truth. We were in the middle of Tuchel's rebuild. Now we're in the middle of another manager's rebuild. So if we take a backward step, that's on the ownership. But we have to see what happens.
Boy, well, before we move on to Chelsea-related supers, Himanshu says, I don't rate Tuchel, but rate you don't rate Tuchel, but rate Arteta. That's a joke.
Himanshu, I'll tell you that straight away. If you find out that I've said I rate Arteta like that, I'll give you 10 grand of UK money, not your currency.
And Sheriff G, and you don't speak for me too. Nor
United lost, by the way.
I'm not sure if that's to Lee. Maybe he's an Arsenal fan and he's saying you don't represent. I'm a bit confused.
Oh no, that's probably to me because I spoke for Chelsea. And good, I don't want to speak for your bitch
okay.
So hold that.
Oh shit! All right, guys, come on. Sheriff, let's calm down. Yeah, let's calm down. Anyway, speaking of the accent, the Scousers, my beautiful Liverpool, my true love. Yeah, go on. I know you've been. Yeah. This relationship's toxic as fuck. That but I'll never leave it. It's one of them ones, but like, you know what I mean? I've seen Liverpool do things to me that I shouldn't have never let them get away with. But you know what I mean? So I want to know the thoughts from the outside of Liverpool, and I know most of this is just going to be banter, but like, if you can give me some constructive criticism. But go for it, Lee. You go first, bro. Go on. It's Liverpool.
I just wanted to ask, like, when is it going to be when you'll start betting on your team to lose?
I mean, do you actually want me to answer that?
Yeah, I mean, that was our question.
Yeah, if it's a big game, I bet on my team to lose all the time.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I mean, look, for me,
everyone knows that's how you get compensation for losing. If you win, then you're over the moon. If you lose, you get money for your pain. Look, everybody knows I do that.
Yeah. We had this convo before.
Yeah, we've had this convo before.
For me, look, I'm not shocked. You saw it in the I put it in the chat. I want all you soft Liverpool fans to go back to I think it was the 22nd of June when I said Liverpool are going to struggle this season. I knew it. I knew.
By the
this
way,
was
you
coming.
said it with no actual information. You were just saying it for the
No,
sake of saying it.
because no. I knew that when you lost Mane, that you were gonna have issues. You're gonna have some problems. Now, look. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that Liverpool are in the mud right now, and how you get out of it. I'm going to tell you some information that you're not going to want to hear. You need to stop trying to do your best Arsenal impression and copy this Wenger thing. Klopp don't need to. You're much better managers than that. So stop that. That's the first thing I want to say. I'm gonna give it to you. Klopp's a better manager than Wenger. Look, I'll give it to you. I want your owners to stop doing these stupid things. They're not spending any money. I do think that's a tangible and real kind of piece of
I
evidence.
agree, bro. I fully agree with you.
I want you, Drifty, to stop moving the needle every single week for Klopp because he's doing some dumb things. And you do move the needle for your manager, and you do kind of make it seem that he's basically faultless at times. But look, we're not gonna digress into that too much.
I don't do that.
But okay, but look, for me, the most important thing is I want to talk about Salah. I want to talk about Salah, the man who's earning £350,000. Now, I don't want to get receipts, but I do have them. And I don't want to kind of use them, but I will say to you, Drifty, you've got onto Aubameyang and Ozil on 3 occasions that I've got the receipts for, because I went digging. I had to go real digging just to say that you couldn't worm your way out of this one.
I would have never. I admit
you
that.
have on multiple occasions brought up the fact that because Aubameyang's earning £350,000, you've spoken a word such as the disgrace, he's hiding, and you.
I mean, I don't think I said any of that. Ozil, I did. Not so much Aubameyang. Ozil, I did.
Listen, Aubameyang, I got the receipts, but listen, I don't want to bring it out too much. Because you know what, I don't want to do the Jamal thing right now. But look, at the most important thing for me is I need to talk about Salah. He's earning £350,000 per week. Not
how much?
£350,000 per week.
Fucking hell, that's a lot of money, bro.
What he also wanted to do, in my opinion, I don't know this because I'm not a Liverpool fan. I want the Liverpool fans to tell me this. I believe deep down, he was happy for Mane to go because he wanted to take the mantle to be the savior for Liverpool. And you know what? Every right, because his goal record is amazing. And in that season where you won the Premier League, Mane was my favorite player, but all the plaudits really and truly went to Mo Salah. And you saw at the start of this season, he spoke about the fact that the stats that he goes into the season with aiming for and what he wants to do individually, what he wants to do as a team. Now, what I think about with Salah is that he's an amazing goal scorer, and I spoke about this with Dap yesterday. He's an amazing goal scorer, but I don't think he's that amazing player. And the two things can coexist. I don't think that he's the player that people think he is. And he's going to go down as an elite goal scorer, someone who's going to go down as a great for being a goal scorer. But when I think about a great Premier League player in the Premier League and in the history, I think about Hazard. I think about Henry. And then people go off me and say, oh, well, why do I keep mentioning Henry? I'm just kind of saying I'm salty because of this Henry thing. No, it's not. I don't care about Henry. I'm talking about Salah right now. At the end of the day, I just don't think that Salah is the guy that you should be handing the keys and the franchise over to. And when I look at Salah, there's too many games like a Fulham. And the issue I spoke about with Munch yesterday is Liverpool fans are happy with the fact that he scores goals and he seems to be involved in the game. But there's too many times when he's not involved in the game, but he will get a goal or assist and it makes him look more credible. And there's been times this season where yesterday, Drift, you gave him a 5 on the rating because I had to go back because I didn't watch anything. I had to go and find it because I wanted to make sure I come with concrete facts. And I looked at the game and I'm like, Drift, how do you give him a 5? And you know why it's more annoying for you?
Remember I said a 4 or a 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But why it's more annoying for you is because I know you know football. And where it is because you're clouded by this. Salah is the GOAT to you. He's a god to you. And I then what I had to do is
half my fan base say that I hate Salah, so I'm confused.
No. And what I had
can we just look at his highlights from the season so far? Show me his highlights.
Yeah, no,
highlights
and you know what?
Season.
No, it's just the one. It's just the ones in the hair. That's true. But for me, oh yeah, that's mad. For me, all I do is when I think about salad. Oh my god! When I think about Salah,
You
when
don't
I
mean
think
friends
about
with salad.
when I think about Salah, I think about the Fulham game. I think about the Crystal Palace game where he will get a goal or assist. He's not involved in the game. So you can be an elite goal scorer, but not be an elite player. And for me, more flack needs to come on Salah because he did the same thing against Real Madrid last season. What did he do? He called out Real Madrid. By the way, Daps, if you look, Salah's hair is literally covered.
I've got as good a highlights as Salah now.
but like last season, he called out Real Madrid. What did he do? Man had the safety on all game, and you can't do these things and then expect to not get the flack. And then again, people are going to say, "Oh, well, what about Henry? He didn't score no goals in the final." That's true. I couldn't care less about Henry. You lot can banter him all you want, but my point, I'm talking about Salad. I'm talking about Salah, whatever people want to call him. At the end of the day, this guy is not overrated. He is not overrated, but I just feel like there needs to be questions asked about him because, as I said, there are too many occasions, more time than not in his Liverpool career. I would say maybe 60% of the time, he does nothing in a game. He gets a goal and assist, and then he comes off looking credible. And I want to tell you something really quickly. In the Fulham game, I think we all established he did nothing in the game. He got a goal and assist, and I think he got a score rating of 7.5. I think it was. He doesn't really deserve that rating because he's done nothing, but he's scored a goal, and goals are currency. Goals and assists, we all know now, are currency. That's the most important thing. But for me, there's more to it, and I just don't think Salah's that guy. I really don't. But look, I need Salah to get the stick and the vitriol that all these big players on these big contracts that don't live up to it are getting. Havertz, we talk about all these players. Nobody gets. Everyone gets a stick minus Salah because you're going off his goals and you just keep mentioning the goals and assists. But what else is he doing? He ain't your savior. He ain't doing nothing for you.
But Lee,
that was I can't even remember everything I need to answer there. That was a monologue and a half. So you know that's just before I forget. Let me answer that because I know I'm gonna forget. Go on.
It's your
all
right.
So the first thing I will say is he earned the right to be on this money across 4 seasons of absolute consistency beyond anything anybody thought he was capable of. The man has got the golden boot twice and he's just missed out twice. And he's got 20 plus goals in every single season that he's been at the club. Yeah. And he's a wide forward. He's not even a striker. So straight away, even if you don't necessarily think 350 is one of those kind of like wages where like you should put somebody on it, I think he's earned it personally. Not only that, if Liverpool had let Salah go, the narrative would have completely spun that we flopped. We're a small club. We can't hold on to our best players. So we was in a lose-lose in that scenario, to be honest with you, from my point of view. But what you need to understand, bro, is what's going on with him right now is one of 2 things. One of them is a theory I have. One of them is a fact. I'll give you the theory first. The theory, for me, is that there's something to do with how intense it is to play for Klopp, his system, and the way things go, yeah? That I watched Mane at the exact same stage of his Liverpool career start to drop performance-wise. He looked tired. He looked like he was a bit lethargic. Wasn't making the right decisions. And the fan base got onto him quite heavily, yeah? And I was always watching it. I was like, no, but he's making effort. He's trying. But it just didn't seem like it was clicking and nobody could work out what it was. Salah is actually, coincidentally, in the middle of the exact same cycle, which is January to the end of the year. It was a calendar year. So it was the back end of one season and the beginning of the following season at the exact same stage of his Liverpool career. Because remember, he joined a year after Mane. So I do believe, in my mind, this is just a theory, this isn't fact. I think there's something to do with the intensity of playing for Klopp and the way we play that like eventually takes a toll on your body, that it could have something to do with it, whether it's mentally, too much overkill, mentally, physically, whatever. And on top of that, bro, he played a hell of a lot of football during AFCON. 3 extra times in AFCON and then 2 extra times for Liverpool against Chelsea in 2 cup finals. The boy has played more football than anybody I can even think of. So physically and mentally, he's going to be exhausted, bro. And then for this season, which is a fact, and not a theory, is Liverpool are trying to adapt to a new system with a new player in Núñez and trying to adapt to losing Mane, bringing in Carvalho, Elliott, and things. Bro, he's being asked to do a different role. He's genuinely being asked to do a different role. He hugs the touchline.
Can I just stop you there for
He
one
doesn't
second?
even really run into the box anymore, bro.
You see why you don't get away with that, right? Because again, you know the reason why you don't get away with that is because you cussed out Henry when he was doing all this dog work for Barcelona, and then you said, "Oh, when he went to 31, when it got to 31, he went to Barcelona. He left Barcelona. He went to New York Red Bulls."
You know, Henry dropped off a cliff. Come on, man. It's not the same thing.
You
bro.
what I'm saying to you though, if you can't use it. You can't talk up both sides of your mouth. You can't use it for
bro.
one.
It's not the same thing.
I'm not saying no. But no, I'm not saying he fell off a cliff. I'm not saying that he didn't, and I'm not saying that Salah has. But what I'm saying to you is, unfortunately, whatever your reasoning is, whatever your excuse is, unfortunately, the cookie doesn't crumble the way that you want it to. And when you go back to this whole thing about you speak about Salah's changing position, all this stuff. Bro, sometimes you just got to make it work. Sorry, you got to make it work. You have to be more involved.
6 games into the season, bro.
No. But drift. You have to make it work. You can't. Be, and again, when I go back to the contract, the most important thing I want to talk about was the contract. Unfortunately, drift in sports, you don't pay people for what they've done. You pay people for what they're gonna do. And there is no back pay.
I disagree with that, bro. I think you earn your big wages.
No, you're right. But the problem is that drift. You think that is correct, but I can tell you for 100% fact because you know my cousin's an agent. He deals with this on a daily basis, and he would tell you verbatim. And I can get him to come on the show. He would tell you every agent go through the same thing because they want their kind of clients to go for a certain wage, but the issue is the club don't want to pay a certain money. Look at what Arsenal, we didn't pay our players over 30. We gave them 1 year contracts. Why? Because we know that we didn't want to kind of be stuck with an issue with a Aubameyang, with a Özil, with a Salah currently who looks
football was different then, bro. That was like 10 years
You're right.
ago.
You're right. But
Football
what I'm saying to you is
different.
what I'm saying to you is unfortunately clubs don't pay people for what they've done. If you sign up to that contract, that's you. That's you as a player. You let yourself down. You get paid for what you're going to offer this club into the future.
It's a bit of both. I think we're both on the right line because you've got to get to a certain level to be able to earn that money, and that is based on what you've done. But you're right. You can't get that money and then not do something else. So it's a bit of both. You got to talk somewhere in the middle. I'm not going to defend him. I'm not going to. I'm going to let you go. But I'm not defending him, Lee. I'm not. His salary is playing like trash. I'll get that right. Like, even though I'm giving reasons, as Dap said before, there are reasons sometimes, not excuses. I'm giving reasons. But he is playing trash. I'm not going to defend that. I've never seen Mo this bad in my life. So, go on, Dap.
The thing is, right, and this is the thing with Liverpool, and I said this, the season that you didn't retain, I said the same thing. When everyone's trying to look at, it's the injuries or... No, in football, nothing is that simple where you can look at one thing and say, that's the reason. There's loads of little reasons. Like, you played a lot of games last season. It was a short summer. You played a lot of friendlies in the summer. You've lost Mane. It's a new system. Your fullbacks are tired. Your midfield that sits in front of your defence, currently they're tired. Because you start losing or you start dropping points. I'm not going to say losing games. You're not losing loads of games, but because you're dropping points, the morale in the dressing room will be slightly different. Klopp might speak to them slightly different. There's so many different things that can influence it. And that's why at the moment, I think Klopp just needs to make sure he proves he is that elite manager and he keeps control of the situation. He doesn't yes, Robertson and Trent and other players, they need resting, but he needs to make sure that they understand it's because they're elite players that probably want to play every game and want to get it right, want to get back winning. But yet he needs to be like, but it's not because I think you're out of form. It's because I think you're tired. So I need to give you some so you can come back in. But there also has to be a point. And again, when people say Klopp out, I'm all for the Klopp out movement. Please get rid of Klopp. It will probably make my season slightly less stressful, right? But there is things where, and again, I'm not blaming Klopp. I'm not blaming Mo. It is what it is. But Mo was, apart from Mane, Mo's your star boy, right? He is the guy that's getting you the goals. He's playing in a different position because Nunez has come in, right? And probably because Klopp has decided he wants to play Mo in that position. And that's fine, because I do, again, believe that eventually it will probably work. Right? Once the players get their fitness back and you get your players back from injury, it will probably work. But also, there's a fine balance. And could it be that at some point he needs to think, do you know what? Before Mo's form dips, maybe we need to revert back to how it was last year. If you can, if you've got the personnel. Now, I'm not the one to say on that because it's your team, but is there a point where he has to go, do you know what? We need to stop playing Mo so wide because we've tried it and maybe long term it will work. But at the moment, it's going to affect our team too much if we keep trying to play Mo in that position. We need to bring him closer to goal because he's just... I know the guy's elite. The season that you lot were at your worst, Mo still had a very fucking good season, right? But every player's morale can dip. And at some point, is he going to feel a bit pissed off that, you know what, why am I being pushed out here for Núñez to play the role that he wants and I'm not playing the role that I want no more?
Yeah, he might. And you're right. The only thing is we've invested 64 million in Núñez, so we have to make it work. We're not a Chelsea or a City where it's not as big of a deal if it don't work when you spend that much money. For us, that's major. If Núñez doesn't work, this is an L.
I don't know, because I
don't even want to talk on Núñez with that dumb
50,
man.
are any of your fan base or any of you lot on Kopish talking about how much of a miss Edwards might be?
Oh, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate for his FSG, because I only think Edwards walked away because he actually didn't like what was going on and the restrictions he was put under. His job was made way too difficult and it shouldn't have been. So I believe that is the owner's fault, because
it's because you look at United and people always talk about Fergie leaving, but the fact is Gill also left, right? And then you look at Arsenal, and who was it David Dean? Was it at Arsenal?
Yeah. David Dean.
Yeah, he also left, and things changed when he left. And there's these key personnel that, like, you know, you look at Newcastle and they've gone and got that guy from Brighton that's pretty good. And I don't know. I think Edwards he sold players well and he bought players well. And could that be very important to this whole situation at Liverpool at the moment?
Not so much towards the end of his reign, though, Daps. That's the thing. When I think that things started to get a bit weird. Yeah, I'll say the last 12 to 18 months, he stopped being as elite as he was. And it started to be a bit weird. And he was still him, but it just didn't look right. And players were running contracts down. He never used to let that happen. There was things that I was like, you can tell this must be something more than just him. People above him, the budget he's working on. I think he just left because he was under too much restrictions. Do you know what I mean? And he wasn't fully allowed to show how great he was because he was always having to turn water into wine. But we'll never know that unless one of them comes out and actually admits it, innit? So
that won't happen.
But yeah, I mean, look, we're bad at the moment. Like, we're bad. We're not in a title race. That's an absolute fact. Top four is the best we'll get this season.
The last thing I kind of want to mention, bro. Listen. Not only are your fans so precious, you can't say a word about anyone because all they keep doing is going back to Arsenal. No one cares. Liverpool 12th man, some match legends. Stop crying. Go and get a towel. Dry your eyes. Stop being a little bitch. Some of you, and I don't mean it personally. I mean in a football term. And get your head out of people's arse. And I mean those Liverpool players, because they aren't doing what you're requiring. Hence why I can banter you. My second thing is,
Arsenal fans do the exact same thing, right?
I don't. Yeah, good. I listen. It's my time to shine. It's my time to shine, and I'm gleaming. And I want to talk about. Trent. I want to talk about Trent, because that second goal yesterday, that was probably the most disgraceful thing I've probably ever seen. Where he just gave up and left Gomez on an island to fight against all those players. And then my man just was standing there watching, hands on his hips like he's a diva.
It was terrible.
For me,
it was terrible.
Listen, I don't want to go into the whole James and Trent thing. Look, like, they're both exceptional talents and players. But for me, bro, like, what he did yesterday was bad. Like, that is an Arsenal of old thing. On different levels, and this is what is worrying. This is what is scary. You're buying players like Núñez, who you rate, and you know, the more you play him, I love it because he's horrible. I love it. The more you keep trying to defend Salah, I love it because he's horrible. And that's it. And then we get to Trent. Listen, I don't know what it is with him right now, but bro. Listen, that second goal.
Nobody knows what's going on.
Don't come to the Emirates, bro. I'm telling you, man.
Nobody knows what's going on with him.
I'm telling you,
me personally, I have a theory that if you've accomplished everything there is to accomplish by the age of 23, it will definitely affect your motivation, your hunger.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like the kid from the age of 18, he's only known eliteness and he's won every single trophy there is to win. Like, I believe it's a hunger issue. I believe there is some attitude that's also kicking in, which is very hard to control at that age. At 23, if I'd done everything Trent has got, maybe it would have made me a less humble person. I don't know.
Balotelli said it himself. We all know his men. Listen.
There you go, then.
If I'd done some of the stuff that them men had done by the time I'm flipping 35, 40, I'd be an absolute arrogant bastard. So I get it. I do get it.
But there's no excuse again.
I think look, lay off Trent in it.
Trent has been ran into the ground. Trent's been ran into the ground as well. He's one of the only players we never had cover for as well. Every week, Trent has to play week in, week out, week in, week out. And what a lot of people don't realize from the outside looking in, Trent has actually had the most responsibility in our entire squad for the last 4 or 5 years because he was the creator, the defender, he was the magician, he was this, he was that. He was actually supposed to do everything. He broke records, Lee. The right backs don't get the level of assists. He got 16, 18, all these assists per season.
No, I'm just talking about yesterday.
Remember I said that if they want to talk about the assists, then they have to take the assists now.
Yeah, look, I'm just saying, it's just one of them things.
Over 50 assists in 4 years is unheard of.
Yeah, it's phenomenal at that age as well.
At that age. So what I'm saying is he's had a lot of responsibility. He's played a lot of football at a very young age. I think there's a combination of a few things. But again, no excuses though, guys. I'm giving reasons. He cannot do that. He's got to come out the team if he's going to play like that. We can't have a liability of a guy who's just walking, not trying, not making effort, almost walking around the pitch like his shit don't stink. There's no way we can have that. And I'll be the first one to say that. So something's got to happen. And I definitely don't think Klopp is going to let him continue to have this level of arrogance or lack of attitude or lack of effort or whatever it is. And even though Klopp is a nice guy, he does have a nasty side to him, and he will switch on Trent if he needs to. So again,
all managers will, especially managers.
It's unacceptable. It is, Lee. You're right. It's unacceptable. You got a 0 for me yesterday. I think it's unacceptable, bro. I'm not having this. Trent can't just be walking around the pitch thinking his shit don't stink. No way. But there are reasons. So you know what I mean. I don't know if you want to chip in, Lewis, before we move on with the Liverpool cooking, or are we done with the Liverpool section? Are we done?
Yeah. Big up Liverpool for taking some of the smoke off us. Otherwise, it would have just been me getting corn for an hour. I can't wait for us to have a nice little mid-off next week. I look forward to it.
No, that game's going to be cancelled. It's going to be cancelled.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing the Premier League games are going to be cancelled, but obviously we'll confirm that.
Very important pre-season. Let's go.
All right, so we don't have any of the Man United representation, unfortunately, today. But I'm gonna ask Daps if you will the Manchester thing. Is it too much to ask? Can you do the Man U repping for me? Because obviously we got Leeds
repping. I didn't watch the game tonight.
No. With the I just want to quickly touch on the Arsenal thing.
Yeah. I mean, just quickly because I've got to jump off.
Actually, so I've got these supers actually that were about the Liverpool.
And I was going to say I've got to jump off in 10, but I can speak before because we don't need to speak on them much. Haaland, another 2 goals, 4-0 win.
We don't need to touch on
certain teams in Manchester this week can't beat teams from Spain. Other teams can. It is what it is.
So GR says Lee's trying to banter Liverpool like he didn't support us 2 years ago. Yeah, you're never gonna live that one down, bro.
Dead joke now, man. It's boring,
DJ Drift, Trent Alexander is toilet defensively. No more excuses. Like I said, no excuses. Like he's got us thingy. Ryan says Lee is spitting facts. Ilias Nunes not good enough. Send him back to Benfica. Ilias also says Liverpool lives rent free in Daps's head.
No, it's not rent free because you're paying to get the comment up.
And Don Want to big up Don Want to. It's been a minute still. I'm a Liverpool fan, but don't ever call him the best right back because he can't defend. Excuses is what I hear. You get paid to do your job, so do it. No excuse. The team is trash. So a lot of people are agreeing with you, Lee. Even the Liverpool fans who you said weren't on your side. But let's move on to the Arsenal and Man United game. Just quickly, obviously it was a little while ago, but we do want to touch on it because that's what we do here. Lee, talk to me, man. You lot went into that game very confident and looked a little wet around the ears, bro.
Yeah, look, like it wasn't good enough for me. It wasn't good enough. A lot of Arsenal fans, I think, I don't know if what anyone else will say and kind of agree with. I thought we played quite well. I thought we played well from basically our goalkeeper to their box, and in the box we were like blunt. We were as blunt as can be. And I can see why people were kind of saying that Gabriel Jesus isn't going to be the guy to get us the goals. I don't agree with that at all. But ultimately, look, he didn't do what he needed to do. Did I leave the game feeling unhappy? No, I actually left the game feeling very confused, only because I feel like Man United was so poor, but I feel like their game plan worked to treat. I don't know what you guys think about with the goal that was disallowed. I thought it was soft, but probably was the right call. We speak about we speak about it all the time. With the inconsistencies of the ref, man. Earlier on in that the Leicester versus God, I can't remember who they played. They played somebody, I think Brighton. There was a goal that was scored, and it kind of was similar to the Odegaard situation. And yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's one.
So you believe that was a? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even just saying this. I said it at the time. It's a foul. Like, for me, that was a foul.
It is a foul. But my point I'm trying to say is that it's in one game, one thing, and in another game, another thing. And in the game, you can see the differences in the ref. We go to the same situation at the West Ham game, West Ham against Chelsea, or Chelsea against West Ham. That was, for me, it shouldn't have been a disallowed goal.
Yeah, that was.
You see in other circumstances and other situations in the same game that things are left to go. But look, at the end of the day, we lost. We took our first L. In a way, I'm not upset we lost. I'm upset who we lost against. I just don't rate Liverpool. I don't rate them at all. But I'm actually kind of happy that this whole unbeaten, invincible thing's done, because we were never going to do it. Do I feel optimistic about getting?
Oh my God, were people talking about that? Is that? I didn't know that was
not Arsenal
fans.
Not Arsenal fans though. Genuinely not. And what I will say is why I'm quite happy is because every Arsenal fan in the last 5-6 years, nobody's singing off the same hymn sheet. With Arsenal, we are all on the same page. We know what's going on. We know what we want to do. We know where we want to go. And it's weird because it's for the first time we felt like this. And you see the issue with the top reds with Liverpool. Clearly, you ain't all on the same page about certain things. Chelsea, you got your manager in, your manager out. Clearly, some of you weren't all on the same page. Probably, yeah. Only Man City and Arsenal at this moment in time, and Man United seem to be some of the clubs that are kind of at least happy to be where we are right now. So for me, look, like I'm cool. I'm good with that. But yeah, and you know what's funny with this whole internet thing? I see someone Arsenal edition. I think he said that I'm deluded. But I'm sure this was the same guy that was in my DMs begging me to do a live with him. But we move. Look, it is what it is. It is what it is. But you know, like at the end of the day, like I'm happy that we're in a place where I think our next game now is actually going to be the North London derby. So that's another 3 points. I can guarantee all of you, put your money or put your house on Arsenal. We have lost, I think, one game out of the last 20-something games at home. We never lose against Spurs.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that, bro.
Yeah.
But before we lose Daps,
I'm good.
I'm going to come back to you. We're not done with Arsenal. I just want to quickly ask Daps about United before he goes. And don't worry, Lewis. Later on, I've got a Chelsea, Tottenham question for you as well, bro. Daps, Man United, they definitely looked like they turned the corner. Today, though, obviously, it's a little bit of a mad thing. They just lost to Real Sociedad, and they had a full team out. I don't want to hear
here's the thing. Here's the thing, bro. They looked. I do agree with Lee. I think Arsenal showed some really good. Like Arsenal were playing. I was shocked at how well they were playing the system. They're working the triangles, passing it up the pitch really fluidly, and it was like, Arteta, the system's working, and then they went 2-1 down, and it was like, you did learn from Pep, but one of the key things is if you learn from Pep is trust the system. Don't 25 minutes to go, don't go and change your whole system like that. 3 subs, 1 goal. That was naive of him. That was what lost the game. They could have got another goal quite easily if they carried on playing the way they did. But yeah, United did look better. Bruno, 2 amazing passes from Bruno. Rashford's been stinky for so long. Rashford's now starting to look. When he scored those goals, he looked like the whole world had been taken off his shoulders. But then the interview with Ten Hag afterwards is what impressed me the most, because I could tell, this guy does have a philosophy. This guy is. But then tonight, what we've seen is the same as I've said about Arsenal, and this is a difference. This is where it gets me happy, that you win a league by having depth, right? And tonight, these 1 or 2 changes for United, look what happened. And that's the thing. Like they're gonna. Martinez has been so good for them. The Martinez-Varane partnership, amazing. Malassi's looked good on the left as well. But 1 or 2 changes, and you're bringing in Maguire, you're bringing in Shaw. It's just not the same. And that's the thing, that they're not going to keep, because they will be better this season, 100%, 100%. The fight for top 4 this season is going to be solid because everyone's improved, I feel.
It's the only real thing to look at. City's won the league, and then everyone who's going to get second, third, and fourth.
We're not top at the moment. We're joint with Tottenham, but we're going to win the league. But it is what it is.
You are.
But what I'm saying is,
wait, you're joint top with who? You're not top.
No, I didn't. I said Arsenal are top, and us and Tottenham are joint behind them. You're getting very protective of that top of the league.
And we're staying there for the next 2 weeks as well.
Cool. Enjoy that, bro. You can stay there till April if you want, mate. We'll have it in May, no problem.
Nah, brother.
There he goes. There he is. There's the
end. It's the final countdown.
What, in September?
But yeah, so on the Man United one, do we all believe that they have turned the corner? Whether or not they're going to be amazing, but they have turned the corner. Do you not believe? I believe they've turned the corner.
Yeah, they have.
I don't think they're going to be as vulnerable as they've been for the last, say, 12 months or so. I don't think. You know what I mean? I think they're a team you now got to worry about playing. You may get the victory, but I still believe you've got to worry about playing them. It's not like, it's Man U, it's an easy game.
No, definitely not. They you know what I mean? Like, on their day, they can turn up. Listen, I'm going to jump off though, but
yeah, big up, bro.
Love.
Big up, G. So Lee, back to Arsenal. These injuries, they do seem to be like, you got a few, like Zinchenko's back, but obviously you still don't know when Partey's going to be back.
He'll be back for the weekend. He should be back for the weekend.
Okay. I mean, are injuries going to probably be one of the only things that gets in Arsenal's way this season, do you think?
Yeah, and look, I spoke about it. I had a big argument with Robbie today when I did the watch along for the Zurich game. My main issue, and everyone keeps mentioning it, I'm worried about Arteta. I feel like he put on today against Zurich. We were 2-1 up. Under no real threat. Like it was like we didn't play well, but it was under no real threat. He put on Jesus, Saka, Odegaard, and Zinchenko, and he took off Nketiah, Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos, who played really well, and he took off Tierney, and I'm just like, why risk it? Why risk it? Like, this is where the top managers make the right decisions. And for me, I just don't feel like it was worth it. It was needed. Zurich they weren't great. Like we conceded a goal from a penalty from a stupid piece of play from Nketiah, who actually played really well throughout the game. We created chance after chance after chance. And I just feel like I just don't know with Arteta. It's hard to keep defending him when he makes these silly decisions, because for me, a top manager wouldn't do it. And it's an
insecurity, though. I think all managers do that, though. Not even just Arteta. You see a lot of managers, like, what he thought? It's 2-1. They might be able to get a bit of like momentum. I need to put my big boys on. Like a lot of managers have that insecurity.
But the issue that we've got is we have clear injury-prone players, and it happens season in, season out, and we haven't replaced them. And bringing on the likes of Saka, even if it's for 15 minutes, it's a worry. The reason why it's a worry is because I just think to myself, you're playing this guy unnecessarily. You don't need to play this guy. Just keep him on the bench, keep him rested for the next game. Now, maybe he thought, okay, we're not going to play our next game. So, look, like it is what it is. But look, we won the game 2-1. We moved to our next game, and we're doing all right. Like just so far, I said it. I thought we would have a good season. So far, we're having a good season. Like I can't say any more than that. Chelsea, I think you're going to come back. And look, my hot take, boy, Liverpool. I don't know, bro. I can see you not getting top 4, man. I honestly can see it, bro. I can see it.
I mean, on that, I was just about to say to the people in the chat, like, obviously banter is completely normal and that's the nature of the thing. But when it comes to Lee, in terms of the respect, guys, like we're a respectful, group here, and we generally speaking are always like, like on top form. But some of the things people say about Lee, come on, guys, like the rudeness, it won't be tolerated. Like just because he's an Arsenal fan and he's an op, he's still a brilliant guy. And the rudeness we won't tolerate, guys. So I just want to say banter all day long. Banter is what we're here for, but do not cross the line of being rude. Do you know what I mean? Like I won't have it and no one else will have it. It's not the one. But yeah, Saley, what was you saying?
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure Liverpool are going to get top 4. I really think your attack is so poor. It is so poor. For me, I just don't see where it goes. And you're relying on Núñez. I just don't see how it happens. Like I really don't.
I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely a hot take, my brother.
And I know there's a super chat coming about. I think from Liverpool 12th man where he's mentioned that I said that Luis Diaz can't finish. I have said that.
Well, yeah. All right, let's talk about it.
But what you do need to do is, Matt. You know what? My guy Matt is in the comments. I think you should ask him first, and then come to me because I'm not a Liverpool fan, so it doesn't matter what I say. Who cares? Why do you care? Talk to your Liverpool other compadres, and ask him why he thinks that, because he's a Liverpool fan. He deals with this every week. So you ask me.
But did you say that you think he can't finish?
I did say that. Yeah, I did. And the reason
surely we need to have a retraction.
Yeah, no. I've said no. I don't know. Of course not. Because I want to see what his shot conversion is like. I want to know how many shots he takes and how many times.
Man. Harry Kane has got quite a poor shot conversion, but he's still an elite finisher.
It
depends where you're shooting from, and
for me,
you know what I mean. Like, come on.
For me, his finishing is not good enough. Like I'll be honest with you. Like I don't believe his finishing is good. And I keep saying it, Salah. Unless you show me something different, I just don't see how you get top 4. I really don't. I want to see the £350,000 man step to the plate and show me and show what you are. And you're an elite goal scorer. I don't rate you as a player. I'm never going to. There's nothing you can do to change my mind. So you might as well just move past that. But I want you to show me.
Salah, you're talking about?
Yeah, no, Salah. Yeah, but I want him to show me.
So you see games like the Man City game last season when he twists up the whole
quality
team.
Moments of play.
And you think that he's not a good footballer?
Quality moments of play, but as I said, for me, he's not a hazard. He's not a hazard for me. So.
That's fair. Lewis, I'm going to bring you back in. Apologies, bro. You're going to feel like you're getting beaten up a bit here, but I need you to talk to me about Tottenham quickly.
I'm on mute. My bad.
Yeah, I just want to ask you about Tottenham because out of the two of you, I think you're the one who may give me a slightly better opinion because obviously I've got the two teams here who hate Tottenham more than anyone on the planet. But we do have to give them the respect. Obviously, George couldn't make it today because he's traveling, but they're plodding along. They're not playing well, but they're winning. They're just winning. They're just churning out. And we got to be real. This is what Conte does. And you know this, Lewis. Like, he takes a team that don't look like they should be able to do what they're doing, and he does it. Do you know what I mean? Are Tottenham the real deal this season? How are we feeling about Tottenham?
I'm not too sure about their squad overall. And, like, we can say that they don't look good in games as well, but this is, like we both said, this is what Conte is good at. He's good at grinding out results and just showing up in enough moments to get a performance. And I don't know. It's still very early days. Have to judge how they handle European competition as well as the Premier League, because that's been what Conte struggled with as well. I don't know. I really don't know. It all depends on how they perform over the next few weeks. The same thing with Arsenal as well. I want to see how both of them perform with European competition too. But they've answered a lot of critics so far. Even if it isn't really with the way that they've played, it's been because of the fact that they continue to get results. And that's what Conte is good at. So it all depends on how long he can make it last. Because I think it's between Conte and the Spursy gene. The same thing was with when Jose Mourinho was in charge. But if Conte can't break it, no one can. But I'll be real. You can only wait and see based on the next few weeks. It all depends on how they continue to perform.
Yeah, I mean, your best game this season was the first half against them where you absolutely battered them pillar to post. And I know they got a penalty they shouldn't have, but effectively, they still didn't even lose that game, which is kind of non-Spursy, if you get what I mean. Like, normally that would have been...
but it's VAR bullshit all over it, because if they actually handled the Cucurella hair pull properly, we win the game. It's as simple as that. Like, yeah, they got a draw, and I guess a good result for them. But any self-respecting Tottenham fan knows they fucking stole it. And it's fine. I guess a derby is what it is. They're gonna love it because of that. I completely understand. I'd be the same the other way around. But they got away with robbery. They shouldn't have won it.
I mean, and Lee, the other thing that Conte's actually got a legitimate claim against him is he's poor in Europe. And I don't even think that's shade. I think domestically he's sensational. But in Europe, he does have a lot of question marks over him. But they got off to a brilliant start yesterday, bro, with that victory. So what are you thinking about Europe, their chances in Europe as well this season?
It's a weird one. It's so weird with Tottenham because I've actually been backing them all season because I don't think it's such a huge matter at this moment in time that they're not playing well because they know what they're doing and how to grind the results out. So yes, it's not sustainable, and we've seen it with Man United because they beat us on the weekend, which they weren't great about, and then they lost today. But I think with Spurs, they're at a different level. They've got players who have got the mindset from the manager is just keeps going. Not saying that they're mentality monsters, of course not. But what I am saying is that they just seem to, they don't care about anything else other than just doing what they need to do. And yeah, for me, look, Spurs have been a bit lucky. Like I do agree with that. And I don't think that it's going to be good enough for them to maybe reach their goals. I think they have a really good chance of getting top four, a really, really good chance. I have to be honest. I think they have a really good chance, but I'm still not caught up on them like that in terms of doing anything major. I still think that we're a better team than them. I think that we should finish above them. And I think the European thing for them, they have to keep playing their strongest team week in, week out. Whereas as you saw tonight, we played pretty much our weak team, second team, and then we can focus on the weekend. So yeah, for me, I feel like the Conte thing, look, every season's different, you know, and I think that's what people always forget. Look, his results at Chelsea and all these other teams weren't great, but let's see what he can do. Everyone keeps calling him the third best manager in the world. Well, I don't know. See.
Right, interesting. So I got a couple supers before we wrap up today. Mr. Dare I say it says Trent plays 72% of the games since 17-18 in all comps, and 76% of the EPO and Champions League games. Learning Lee, I'll enjoy your tears on October the 9th.
I promise you man don't want to come Emirates. I promise you don't want to come Emirates right now.
Oh, is that when we're playing you? We got you on October
I
the
don't
9th.
know. It probably is. But if you do come to the Emirates...
That's deep over there.
It's the Beery. Arsenal man them did the chicken foot and add Salah.
Listen, another soft, insecure man.
GR, I mean, I don't know about that as a Beery, ain't really like that, but yeah. GR says Lee said Arsenal ain't making top four last week. Yeah, I remember that.
I did say that, yeah, man. Look, I came in hated, I came in angry, I was annoyed. I was told from the Arsenal board and Arteta that we're gonna spend all this money and we didn't get the players that I wanted to get. So yeah, I was feeling annoyed, but you know, it happens. We move.
You change your tune real quick there, bro.
Change the tune, bro. One day later.
Liverpool 12th man says 18 lost, one game to Napoli and went on to win the cup. Just saying. I think he might be talking about what we did. Oh, in 2018, I think that's what. Yeah. In 2018, we lost to Napoli. Yeah. I think we did actually. If I'm correct, we did. And I think
go and listen to your dumbass manager and book your ticket to Istanbul. Then Liverpool 12th man, do it. I'll do it. Don't even talk no more. Go and do it. Listen to him and do it. Do it again.
Show me. A bit rattled there, bro.
No, listen. Do it. Listen. Prove me. Do it. Your manager said you'll be in the next Champions League final. He said that you've got the best 11 in terms of players, the starting 11. Do it. Shut me up. Get your little hive of soft fans and shut me up. There you go.
It is hilarious an Arsenal fan calling Liverpool fans soft. I can't lie. That actually tickles me, bro. I've never seen a fan base switch so quickly, flip-flop all over the place. Arteta could lose 3 games now, in September. And you man will be Arteta around.
You man are the softest. You lot are the softest.
Am I lying, Lewis?
Cry babies. You lot are
These
the
lot turn
softest
like a star.
crybabies. You lot are the softest crybabies that you lot have to create these issues in your head to make it seem that everybody's against you, and then what you then do is then you use it against everybody else. You're soft. You lot are absolute
I'm not gonna
babies,
lie. Arsenal fans
crybabies.
talk about the referees and VAR more than anyone I've ever heard
It's
in my
true.
life. So if you want to
I
spin
mean,
a
it did
narrative
sound
of
like the Arsenal COVID situation earlier this year.
Listen, I tell you, I can't talk about how much these man cheated in that game. But look, anyway, as I said, like you lot are a bunch of babies, man. You lot are soft.
On that note, big up you, man. As always, it's been a good show. I've enjoyed it.
How's
cheer
it
up,
going there,
Lewis, man. You lot have got Potter, bro. Like, cheer up, man. That
I'll
Potter's
cheer up
you're
once
gonna
we
be.
start playing some good football, bro.
Listen,
You will under Potter, bro. You will, man.
You
Potter's
lot are
gonna have you lot
serious, man.
balling out, man.
I'm telling you, Chelsea, you got a good one, bro. You lot are serious, bro.
Oh yeah,
You
we'll
lot are
make
serious.
top 4. I believe that. It's a bare minimum requirement.
Whose spot you taking then?
Whose spot?
Yeah.
The top 4 staying the same, bro. No one's spot's being taken.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Was that Arsenal, Man United outside the top 4? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Top 4 stays the same. Said at the start of the season. Ain't gonna change. Maybe the order might change, but that's about it.
So who's getting top 4, Lee? Just quickly. What 4 teams will be in there?
Man City for sure. I think. Do you know? I think the Chelsea thing is such a game changer. I'm gonna say Spurs with Conte, because I don't think Man United got enough firepower, and we are 1,000,000,000,000%. Everything I know, we are getting top 4.
So you're going Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, City.
Boy, I listen.
You heard it here first.
A lot of tears, boy. There's gonna be a lot of tears.
You heard it here first.
Yes, Lewis.
There
you go.
Psychedelic blues, bro. We're here.
There you go. Bring the
you can
propaganda.
do it. Put your chest into it.
Nah, you know what? It's not even bring the prop. It's not the propaganda. Bring the propaganda. Bring the propaganda. Bring it. I love it.
I'll bring it next week after we smash Fulham, because I demand that shit. Fuck Fulham.
Yeah. Love it.
Another derby. But on that note, as always, big up you, man. Obviously, Daps is on as well. Big up everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button. Everyone's link is in the description, guys. Make sure you go over and subscribe to everyone. Obviously, Lee's got the newest channel as well. Go show some love. Go support Lee, especially you Arsenal, man. Nah. Do you know what? There's a lot of beautiful people in our community, bro, that I'm sure will show love. So make sure you go over there, show your love. And, you know what I mean? Make sure you subscribe to Lewis as well, guys. We will be back tomorrow, obviously, for the call-in show. And then the weekend for the match reaction. I mean, we may not even have a game. We may have to rethink that. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, until next week for the Prem Panel Show, people. Love as always. And we will catch you on the other side. Peace!
Peace, man. Peace.